The Chicago Bulls got themselves a huge victory last night versus the Miami Heat. And man, we feeling good this morning. I ain't gonna lie to you. But on today's episode, we're gonna talk about Josh Giddey's performance versus those Miami Heat and the Chicago Bulls focus ahead of the play-in. Yeah, I know I'm gonna talk about it and break it down, but you gotta hear the music first.
Cognac gang.
Shy Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's daily episode. If you hyped up and tuned in with me today, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chicago Bulls made it happen last night, getting themselves a victory over the Miami Heat and what started off as a little shaky game, but it was very, very exciting to say the least to end the game after sort of a rough start, to get off. You know what I'm saying? You could tell that the Chicago Bulls were a little off their rocker, for a lack of a better word, to start the game, but they absolutely got it done. Got to start off by talking about Josh Giddey, though. Josh Giddey was the engine to the Chicago Bulls victory yesterday. Josh Giddey was on another level on both sides of the court and notched himself another triple-double by giving the Chicago Bulls 28 points, 11 assists, 16 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 steals. My goodness, Josh Giddey was on another level yesterday. He was able to do a little bit of everything. And with that triple-double, it's his 7th of the season. And the Chicago Bulls are 7-0 whenever Josh Giddey gets a triple-double. Shout out to Josh Giddey. And what I enjoyed most seeing yesterday is Josh Giddey attacking the basket whenever it was available to him. And sometimes it wasn't even available to him. He just told Muggs to get out of my way. I love that type of aggressiveness from Josh Giddey, attacking the basket, reading the coverages correctly. You know what I'm saying? Making those other defenders pinch in on the defensive side on him, and he just making the right play. He did a one fillet, and it was a nasty 2-point conversion at the basket, and it was just a good performance from Josh Giddey. When we talking about hitting the open shot, he was able to do so and did it in a very efficient way, going 3 for 6, 50% from shooting 3 last night. And it wasn't nothing out of sorts. It was a lot of questions coming into the season talking about Josh Giddey 3-point performance, but no, not last night or since the All-Star break. Since the All-Star break, Josh Giddey has been outstanding and pushing that dollar to another height. We talked about it early on before we continue, but we talked about it early on. The Chicago Bulls bringing Josh Giddey to the negotiation table and both sides not agreeing, with reports saying that Josh Giddey wanted $30 million per year. Bulls said no. And remember correctly, I said, all right, it's time for you to show up, Josh Giddey. It's time for you to show the Chicago Bulls that you deserve your bag, Josh Giddey. And I told the Chicago Bulls and I told Josh Giddey, yesterday's price is not today's price. And that could have went either way. Josh Giddey could have lost some money or he could have earned some more money. The Chicago Bulls could have saved some money or they might have to spend a little bit more money. And I ain't going to lie, it's looking like they got to spend a little bit more money to retain Josh Giddey, and I think they should get it done. But Josh Giddey on the night, man, he was creating for others, and that was just a sight to see. We talking about drawing extra defenders, doing the good drop-off passes to his teammates, and shout out to the teammates. They was able to help the young man get it done. Shout out to the teammates. They was able to get it done because, hey, there's times where the Chicago Bulls are solely relying on making outside shots and not getting things at the basket at certain points of the game. And sometimes those shots are just not falling, or they're hitting the outside shot, but nothing is going in while they are in the paint trying to convert shots. And everything was going right for the Chicago Bulls after they got off to a bit of a slow start. So shout out to Josh Giddey. Shout out to Josh Giddey. And shout out to the Chicago Bulls, because as a team, they took it to the Miami Heat after the Miami Heat came out feeling themselves. And before the game, the Miami Heat, all the Miami Heat players are well aware that the Bulls sat their players like they wanted some smoke. It was like they wanted some smoke. The Miami Heat, hey, whoever posted that, look, I don't know if you was a writer or a reporter for the Miami Heat, but you put it out there like the Miami Heat wanted some smoke, and the Chicago Bulls stepped up and rose to the occasion. And as a team yesterday, the Chicago Bulls converted and scored on 51% of their field goals, shot 37% from the three as a team, out rebounded the Miami Heat 46-39, and as a team had 7 blocks. But I got 2 stats that is just my 2 favorite stats for the Chicago Bulls, and that's 24 fast break points. And the team, the Chicago Bulls, was perfect from the free throw line, going 13 of 13. I love that stat the most, going perfect from the free throw line, simply because it's free. We want to take half off from the other teams. But when my team go out there and shoot perfect from the free throw line, and you just gave yourself a free 13 points, hey, it could definitely be the difference in some games. And it was definitely part of the differences in last night's game that made that game so damn exciting. I want to talk about Kobe White, though. I know it's going to be some people that come in here and say, well, Kobe White wasn't that good yesterday. Look, if you look at the box score, it's not going to be a pretty good box score for Kobe White, just scoring 18 points, having 4 assists and 5 rebounds, and going 5 of 14 from the field and not making a single three. I'm going to push back and say, I think Kobe White had a really good game. Not a great game, but a really good game. Kobe White, he was getting to the damn basket. He was wreaking havoc on whoever was defending him, not necessarily making a lot of shots. But when he got to the basket, he created fouls and went 8 for 8 from the free throw line. That was good for him. And then if you sit there and you watch the game, you look and see that Kobe White was creating for others. Didn't get the credit on the assist, you know what I'm saying? But for like a lack of a better term, or a term that's used frequently in the NBA world, the hockey assist. You know what I'm saying? Getting it out to the other guys in the Chicago Bulls, moving it around at the top of the key to the open shooter. A lot of those opportunities was created not only by Josh Giddey, but also Kobe White. Man, the Chicago Bulls, man. Look, I don't know how far this team is going to go. They got absolutely, you know what I'm saying, go out there and blunder the last 2 games of the season, which I think they will not. Let's make that clear. But that Kobe White and Josh Giddey, Sub-Zero and Scorpion is what we call them over here on Shy Bulls Podcast. So if you're wondering, Kobe White is Sub-Zero. Scorpion is Josh Giddey. And they are a good combination to continue to build. If we're talking about the foundation and who can we continuously, look to continue to improve the team and the foundation that's kind of set already, I'm looking at guys like Kobe White. I'm looking at guys like Josh Giddey and Montes Buzelis. And man, some of my young players are even stepping up to the plate too. And wow, have the guys that we brought over in trade, have they impacted the game for the Chicago Bulls to make this a more sound team? Maybe not the best team in the NBA, but the Chicago Bulls are a more exciting team to watch. They play basketball a lot better than what we've seen in years past, even though we had all-stars and all NBA players and champions on this team. It looks way better. It's a lot more exciting. And who knows? Who knows what they can do in this play-in? Who knows what they're going to do in the playoffs? Look, I already told y'all I don't have them winning a playoff series, but I believe this team is going to fight. And that's what I want to see, because those moments to be able to help these young guys develop. And if they do end up getting bounced out real quick in the playoffs, like a lot of people are going to predict them to, that hunger is going to be right there bubbling in young projecting stars, in my opinion, and Montes Buzelis. Montes Buzelis deserves some credit from yesterday. Montes Buzelis gave the Chicago Bulls 17 points, 1 block, 1 steal, and grabbed 4 rebounds and knocked down some big time threes. Went 6 of 10 from the field and then 3 for 5 from the 3-point line. And that young rookie hit some big time threes when we absolutely need it. Now I need him to keep it up. I want him to stay confident in his shot and continue to build on this process. And man, I just got to say it for the sake of saying it. Chicago Bulls, Billy Donovan, A.K. Mark Eversley. Where you at, by the way? We could have potentially had the rookie of the year, bro. Montes Buzelis could have been the rookie of the year. But we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on what happened yesterday and where we are right now and where the focus should be going moving forward. But before I do that, I just got to ask one question. And this goes to myself too. After feeling down for the Chicago Bulls sitting their players in the Cleveland Cavs game, after the Miami Heat game, did it feel like the Chicago Bulls made a good decision now? Does it feel like the Chicago Bulls made a good decision now? I would say yes. I will absolutely say it feels like a good decision now simply because you got a dub in convincing fashion. You got it in a convincing way. It didn't come down to a last-second shot. It didn't come down to necessarily the last 2-3 possessions. The Chicago Bulls took care of business. Yeah, the Miami Heat was still trying to fight their way in, but hey, I know a lot of us are feeling really good today. And for my people that was really going off, because I told my people, I said, I don't agree with it, but I understand it in a way, or at least was trying to make some type of sense of it. So for my people that was up in arms and going ape on the Chicago Bulls, where was the same smoke when they won? I'm just asking a simple question. Where was the smoke after the Chicago Bulls won? I'm just saying. And I ain't saying you have to go out there and be a bozo and just start creating narratives and just saying things that are unrealistic. I'm just saying, yes, it's okay to go out there and voice your opinion on the state of the Chicago Bulls and then, voice your opinions on what took place, especially when it came to sitting the Chicago Bulls. But I seen people go out there and say they're just trying to get a play-in home game to sell us another dream. And I was like, what? Why? Okay, you want to get the home play? You could just go to the playoffs and make more money. You just go to the playoffs and make more money. That was my rebuttal. But hey, it's just one thing, man. Like, voice your opinion, but sometimes it's okay to not jump off the ledge. Now, if they would have lost last night, that's when you could have jumped off the ledge and say your plan was absolutely crap. But before that, before yesterday's game, I believe most of us are in agreement that it was fair to be like, hold on, what are we doing? Why are we sitting players now? It doesn't really make sense. But for those people that was like, this is a money grab, and the Bulls are absolute shit, they're disrespecting the league. I thought it was about integrity. I was like, okay, y'all pushing the narrative a little bit too far for me. But it is what it is. But now the focus for the play-in, ahead of the play-in, it should be real simple. Handle your business. I keep saying it. I'm going to say it again. Worry about yourself. May the chips fall where they going to fall. I believe the Chicago Bulls, now they have a full clear. They already had a tiebreak over the Miami Heat, but they have a full game over the Miami Heat now. And I believe they're only a half game away out of the AFC. Right? But you still got to focus on your business if you're the Chicago Bulls. You have to focus on your business. Take it one game at a time. Don't think about playing the 76ers before you play who's the damn team we about to play? God damn, I just lost the thought. Yes, before the next game. Before the next game. Man, don't focus on nothing else. Don't focus on the play-in. We focusing on the game that's on Friday. You know what I'm saying? That's the game we should be focusing on. And we taking it one step at a time. And there should be no slip-ups. We got to come into these games with some intensity, and we got to make sure that we taking care of our business. And that game on Friday, I had to, do what I do real quick. That's the Washington Wizards. So don't focus on the 76ers before you handle your business versus the Washington Wizards. Make sure you take care of business. And you can't get ahead of your skis. You can't get ahead of yourself. You have to take care of business one game at a time, one step at a time. And maybe we'll see the Atlanta Hawks. I think the Atlanta Hawks play today. So if the Atlanta Hawks take that L, I think the Chicago Bulls move into the AFC. I don't know. We're going to have to see. Because I think the Chicago Bulls do own a tiebreaker over the Atlanta Hawks as well. All right, look, I said we ain't trying to be greedy to try to get that 7th seed. I just want a full plate. That's it. I just want a full plate. I don't need a second plate. I just want to be full and good to go. So just give me a nice plate of food. We talking about roast beef. You know what I'm saying? We talking about pot roast. Give me the pot roast with the homemade mashed potatoes and the green beans. And that's it. I don't need a plate number 2. I just want a full plate. And that's the 8th seed. The 8th seed is the sweet spot for me in the Chicago Bulls. The focus ahead of the play-in is to take care of business and go into the play-in with great momentum to knock out whoever you face, because you still got things to sort out in the seeding, but you got to go into this play-in by taking care of your business to end the season. But that is it for me today, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in into another episode. I hope y'all enjoyed my buffoonery this morning. I hope y'all enjoyed my enthusiasm after last night's game. And y'all let us know, how did you all feel about the playback setup that we had for yesterday's live? Maybe I should have asked that earlier, but if you're still here, appreciate you for tuning in for this long. But let us know how you feel about the play-in and the playback setup that we had set up yesterday. And just let us know your thoughts on that. And we're going to keep on continuing and pushing out this content so y'all can enjoy it and just open up the lane for conversations to have about our Chicago Bulls, man. That's what we're going to continue to do. That's what we're going to continue to look at. We appreciate all the support. We're hitting those milestones that we want to hit. And the next goal is the next step is the 8K mark, man. Let's hit that 8K mark as a family, as a team. Shout out to the new members. Shout out to the members that's been rocking with us. We appreciate all that love and support that y'all have been giving us, man. It does not go unnoticed. But we're going to have some more things coming here shortly for y'all. So y'all stay in tune. Me and C-Dub are having some conversations about things that we're going to do. But in the meantime, in between time, before you go, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you always see red, and you already know I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac. Gang.